I'd like to call this Town and Gown Committee meeting to order at 10:02, and I'll start by reading the land acknowledgement. The City of Thorold is situated on treaty land. This land is steeped in the rich history of the First Nations, such as the Hattawandrock, the Haudenosaunee, and the Anishinaabe, including the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. There are many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people from across Turtle Island that live and work in Niagara today. The City of Thorold stands with all Indigenous people, past and present, in promoting the wise stewardship of the lands on which we live. First, are there any declarations of interest? Seeing none, adoption of the agenda. Can I get a mover and a seconder to adopt the agenda? Councillor Dedivides and Mark. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. Adoption of the minutes. The minutes from January 29th, 2024, TAG 1-2024. Can I get a mover and a seconder to adopt the minutes? Councillor Sentence, and I have Chief Dixon. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. Okay. There's no items of correspondence? Committee business, we got a presentation, and Kristen is online. And this is on shared, spaces shared home sharing. Kristen Smith from Brock University is going to speak on this, and welcome, Kristen.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. To the Town and Gown Committee, I'd like to discuss the Spaces Shared platform. Brock University, in collaboration with Spaces Shared, launched in February. It is a home sharing platform where individuals in the broader community open their homes as hosts to provide accommodation for students. So different than having a landlord-tenant act coverage where they would be renting a separate space, they are sharing the home with a student. And so it might be something that's appealing to a senior, for example, allowing them to stay in their home longer, with the student helping out with particular tasks around the home, and in exchange for a reduced rent. So there's a list of various things that students might be able to assist their hosts with. So putting the garbage out, perhaps snow removal, raking of leaves, mowing the lawn, up to 5 hours a week. And they would be sharing a space with the student directly. We launched this collaboration in February, and we did host a community open house early in February as well at the Thorold Activities Community Center on Richmond Street. And we had a great response. We had about 15 community members attend to learn about the program and to find out information about the home sharing options that they may have within the broader community. And to date, we have 9 listings. So we have 9 hosts that have joined the organization. They have to go through quite an application process in terms of police checks and those sorts of things in order to be vetted for the site. And then students also create a profile, and then they're able to look for properties or hosts that they're looking to share housing with. And right now we have 1 match. We haven't heavily promoted to students at this point because the inventory is quite low, but that's great to hear that there's been 1 match between a host and a student to date. Happy to take any questions that folks may have about the program, about Brock's involvement with it. I see that Niagara College is also on the call, and I know that the college also has a partnership with Spaces Shared, as well as the University of Niagara Falls, Canada also has partnered with Spaces Shared.
Thank you, Kristen. Before I open the floor up, I would say that that's one thing we put into consideration when we did the residential licensing. If the owner's in the home and they have a student living there, that situation doesn't require a license. I think after 2 students, am I right, Danny? I think it's more than 2, then they would.
If the owner lives on site and they're renting 2 bedrooms or less, they would be exempt from the
Yeah,
license.
so that would fit in with that as well for the homeowner. So that program would fit nicely with our current residential licensing. So any questions from the floor regarding that? Go ahead, Councillor Didovich.
Mine is not a question, but a comment. I really like this program because a lot of people are lonely and they need companionship, and this is a great way to get it, and I think it's going to be very successful.
Thank you. Okay, that's good. Thanks so much, Kristen, and I think you'll see over time that this program may gain some serious traction, so.
Yeah, happy to provide further updates at another meeting. Happy to do that. And also to Councillor DeVitis' comments, in other communities where this program has launched, we have seen a lot of intergenerational exchange between the people sharing their spaces as well. So connecting a student in a particular area of study with maybe a retired individual from that profession. And so that certainly has been the case in other communities that have launched the program.
Thank you so much. Catherine, did you have your hand up? Did you want to comment on this, this particular item?
Yeah, I did. Thank you. I find this interesting. I actually was reading an article a few years ago in Netherlands where they actually work with providers of long-term care. And the organization allows for certain rooms in that facility for post-secondary students to live for free, and they have to volunteer so many hours. Has that something that Brock or Niagara College has explored?
Go ahead, Kristen.
Yeah, great question, Catherine. We do have one through our Masters of Gerontology program on campus. We have one student who is placed in a Niagara Regional long-term care facility for that exact purpose. So they exchange certain numbers of hours and run programming within the facility. It was very successful. I'm happy to share the Brock News article highlighting that for this group to be included in the minutes as well. So it's not a large scale project at this point. It's tied to their academics, but it was very successful. A lot of positive response from the student and from the residents as well in terms of the value add of having intergenerational folks living together. So happy to share that.
That's great to hear. I was quite fascinated with what Netherlands was doing and glad to see. Hopefully it can be expanded. I think there's benefits on both sides of that.
I agree. It's a great model.
Thank you. Okay, go ahead, Natalie.
Will you be sharing this on your social media sites, and do you need us to share it out through our sites?
Kristen?
Yeah, sure. So the space is shared. Yes, happy to provide the press release that Brock put out in early February when we launched. I have the details and would be delighted if you could share some social media content around it. Natalie, I will connect. I think it makes sense to connect with you directly if you don't mind, and I can just share the content that we shared in February just to promote the opportunity for hosts.
That would be great. Thanks.
Yeah, and we could also put
Excellent,
that
thank
on
you.
the student webpage, you know, or, yeah, okay. Okay, we're gonna move on now to St. Patrick's Day debrief. I think I'll call on Danny first. Danny, do you want to give an update from your end?
Sure.
Danny is
Mr. Mayor.
our head of bylaw enforcement, so.
I can confirm that I don't have any specific incidents to report. It was a pretty uneventful weekend. We did have patrols Friday and Saturday evening into the early hours of the morning, as well as into the late hours of Sunday evening.
Thank
Like
you.
I said, no specific incidents to report.
What I can report is I went on a follow-up with the Town and Gown Association of Ontario, had a webinar which I went in on, and there was representatives from Western, Guelph, Waterloo, Queens, and there was other universities as well. And I can tell you that we had the best results on our efforts and what we've done. And I can see that other universities are looking at some of the things we're doing. And I never want to pat ourselves on the back because we always got to be prepared for the next incoming group and term, but the work being done by our community partners. And what I mean by that, I mean Brock University, Niagara College, our bylaw enforcement, the bylaw enforcement in the other areas that are affected, as well as the NRP, and has produced dividends, as well as the off-campus patrol from Brock. And our group here is producing results. But that being said, we continue to work hard, and we'll continue to make sure that we don't let up on what we do, not only to prepare, but also to make sure that we're communicating and working together with our community partners. So, anyone else on St. Patrick's Day? Go ahead, Councillor Dennis.
Being part of downtown for 35 years, it came a long way. This year, we had about 1,500 people just coming in our facilities, and a couple thousand people downtown in and out of different places. And Brock and Niagara did a great job. And it's different now. The kids know they're a part of our community. It's calm. They spend a lot of money downtown. It affected a lot of businesses. There's a lot of upsides to the St. Patrick's Day party, and it's done in a positive way. And then I just want to say hats off to Brock and Niagara and to the City of Thorold, because it's a good example for everybody else, and it helps these businesses downtown. I know myself, it's one of my best nights. I mark it down on my calendar. I know other businesses in Thorold, they make quite a bit of money off this. And it's a great event for the city, and it's great to see.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Go ahead, Councillor Sentence.
Yeah, I agree. Through you, Mr. Chair, never relax, never get complacent, but you can only go year per year. So we're doing a great job, but never think that we're at any point. I'm always curious, Mr. Chair, through you. Gary, how was your experience for St. Patrick's Day?
We'll get you on round table too, don't worry.
Yeah, I figured I was gonna talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
At the round table, but everything's been pretty good. The only thing is, I encourage the police they've been showing a lot of presence in a neighborhood, I've noticed, and it's been pretty quiet since the big rumble we had. They did a road stop on Richmond Street in, March, near the end of March. I don't know how it came out, but I would encourage them to do that on a regular basis, especially in around holiday time where we find that we get the most traffic. That corner between Winterberry and Silver Maple, there's a four-way stop there. It's crazy. You don't venture out on that intersection if 3 out of 10 cars stop. It's a bad intersection.
It's been highlighted, believe me.
Yeah, but anyways, no, everything's been good. I keep your fingers crossed, and you're right. We can only go because the next group's coming in. And I'm going to have all new neighbors here starting.
Well, you're in the heart of the valley, so I'm always curious.
Mark, you had your hand up. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Mayor. Just building on what Mr. Sertragno's talking about and previous speakers talked about, I think that whole proactive approach from all the partners, when there's a presence during those days, I think that's very helpful, because you have to be able to respond quickly.
Absolutely. Thank you. Go ahead, Chief Dixon.
Yeah, following up with what Mark's saying, the collaboration 3 years ago when this started between St. Catharines, Thorold, Niagara Regional Police, Brock, Niagara, has immensely improved what's taken place here.
And I want to mention, which I didn't mention when I was talking, also Thorold Fire and Emergency Services is heavily involved as far as being part of the community partners working together. So, yeah.
Yeah, it was Judy and myself being the community emergency management coordinators for Thorold and St. Catharines to put the committee together to kind of see what we could do best. I mean, Brock's done a wonderful job trying to educate the people. And again, they went door to door the weekend before, handing out pamphlets and kind of educating the people of what their responsibilities are. Our bylaw department, making the homeowners accountable. All those pieces are starting to add up now. It's been too many years. to say the least, but now it's showing, it's paying off, and I think the message is getting out there loud and clear. Even St. Catharines are the same. Their parties weren't what they used to be, and same with Waterloo, Kitchener area. Like you said, Western had an issue. They had big issues over there as well. But I think the message here in Niagara for us, we're doing really well when we're working collaboratively. Niagara Regional Police, great presence. So and I think it's doing well.
And Catherine Habermill is here from the Region Waste Management. She's the Director of Waste Management, and they've done a wonderful job of being out there and communicating and, again, working with our bylaw group as far as getting the message across on what the regulations are, what the expectations are, and so that's just another part of that community piece. Is there anyone else that wants to speak on St. Patrick's Day? I can't see the online if you see anyone. Okay. Okay. So a preparation for the end of the school term, which is really basically done, right? Yeah. I know a big piece of that, and this maybe Catherine wants to speak to this is from a waste management perspective. I know that you put on a blitz. And I know if I see any thing that needs help, I know who to email, and I did email one to Catherine. But if you want to speak on the Blitz and what you do as far as communication on those type of things, Catherine.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Mr. Mayor. So every year we send out a letter to the landlords and to the off-campus houses that we're aware of, providing information on how to properly dispose of extra garbage, large household items, what the process is. And then, of course, we continue with our in-area monitoring. So we're in there typically the day of and a couple of days after the collection day, leaving reminders, trying to talk to as many of the residents as possible. And so we've found that's effective. And of course, as the mayor indicated, if anyone sees a property with a large amount of garbage out, if they want to just contact me directly or our waste info line, we will definitely send out a staff member to investigate.
Thank you so much. So basically, we're at the end of this year's school term, and we all know that our next meeting is probably our most important meeting of the year, I always say, and that's our preparation for the beginning of the fall term. But before we get to that, I'm going to start a round table, and I'm going to open the floor up. We'll start over here with Samara. And it's your last meeting?
Yes,
so
it is.
Explain to them that you're finishing.
Sure, I will. So I want to thank everyone, because this year has been a landmark moment, at least for the Graduate Student Association, and I represent one of the unions at the student unions at Brock, which is the Graduate Student Association. It's been an honor and a privilege to be part of the city of Thorold, and I personally believe this is just the start of a long and an amazing relationship between the students and the city of Thorold, and I feel it was long time pending. So I want to also thank my colleague Larissa, who took the initiative so that we could be here as a student representation body. And as I come towards the end of my term, it's a pretty emotional one for me also. This is my second last day at office. Had some really good ups and had some really good learning experience personally, and I'll be taking a lot back, especially as an international student. I also want to mention that the new incoming team comprises of Christian, who's our president. We have Moyo, who's the equity and student life vice president. We have Mavis, who will be heading as the vice president of external affairs and university affairs, and she's the one most probably who will be taking over from me after 2 days. And I am going to be around. I'm a resident, I would say, at the city of Thorold. I stay at downtown, so you will be seeing me bicycling in my signature at Tim Hortons cycle. So I might be leaving this chamber and council today, but I will be at Thorold for some time. I have another 2 terms before I graduate, but whatever I can do to make and contribute to the city of Thorold to make it a better place, I will do that. And thank you once again for having the Graduate Student Association as part of this wonderful a wonderful area and space where we can kind of share our thoughts, contribute, and just make the place a better place to stay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sam. And two things. One, if you go on our page, there might be some opportunities where you can volunteer in the community. We'd love to have you do that. And secondly, if you can talk to your incoming group and tell them to call my office, and I'll set up a meeting with them.
Sure, that's something I'll definitely be doing as part of the handover process. I've already mentioned it in my transition document. And I'm actually looking forward to joining various committees at Thorold because I volunteer at the St. Catherine's Downtown Association. So closer home, I want to kind of make an impact. So that's something that I'll be doing over the summer because the load is less. And yes, I need to utilize my time well. So, and what's better than giving back to a place where I stayed and for a year and a half and a place that I call home.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Councillor De Davides.
No, I just wanted to say it's great that we always get together and do this and be proactive and all these different partners working together. And I see the students really taking a pride in Thorold. Thorold's changed a lot. A lot of people are calling this home now. The downtown looks great. A lot of people are proud to live in Thorold and be, the students are coming around. And I know we get some bad ones the odd time, but there's bad people in society everywhere. But we're really working together with all our partners. I think this is great and it's going forward nice.
Thank you. Mark.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I just want to give a shout out to Mr. Vukvik and his team for dealing with an issue, a local issue, and it was resolved because they laid charges. And there's no other way to do it to stop actions other than lay charges where appropriate. Warnings don't help, and it hasn't helped for a few years. So thanks a lot, Danny. That was awesome, and it was a great partnership with the regional police and the other partners.
Absolutely.
And it was also very helpful, just for everybody's knowledge, when you find out the liaison officer's name for the region, like if somebody's complaining a lot, if they have that name, they can deal with directly, and then they start to get, Terry gets notified. It's just better to have the name. So that's one of the pieces that sometimes misses with frustrated residents when they really don't know. You get an officer arriving, they just take the report, but you don't know if it gets forwarded. You have to actually be insistent that it does get forwarded, and that helps the process along. And then Danny's got some paper to work with and
absolutely
things like that.
Justin, did you have anything you wanted to add? Matthew? Gary, go ahead. I know Gary has something to say, and but because you said you were going to speak on.
No, I'm just happy that things have been really nice and quiet. Things are moving pretty good. We'll keep our fingers crossed. I just have a question. Is the residence on Shimon Park, the two new buildings, are they open?
Yes, there's three.
There's three?
And they're open, and my understanding is they're pretty full, and I think they'll end up being full for this fall semester. I know that there's also three more identical to those three that are going to be built south of that. So
how many would house in those buildings?
So when it's totally built out, all 6 units, it's over 1,000 beds.
Oh, that's nice.
So
that's nice.
our hope is that will take some pressure off the residential areas. So
excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's been working well, and hopefully it continues with our new group coming in. Thank you.
Thank you. Natalie.
At my end, I'm always looking for ways to communicate to the students at Niagara College and Brock University. Feel free to reach out if you have programs that you want to promote from your end. I'm here to help. Thanks.
Thank you. And Danny.
I just want to thank Mark for that recognition. We appreciate that. I want to let everybody know basically Byla's out proactively and reactively addressing issues daily. We work closely with the waste management in identifying any potential issues that we come across, and they come across as well. And I'll encourage anyone involved to reach out to myself or any of the staff members if anybody needs clarification or any assistance in the field. Feel free. Thank you.
Thank you, Danny, and the great work your crew does. Chief Dixon.
I'm just gonna pat Danny on the back a little harder, just because, you know, his poor team doesn't really get it very often, and I know they work hard, and there's no, in all fairness, there's a lot of legalities around what they do, and it's very, very difficult. Mark hit it best. If we don't have names and paperwork and things in place, it just doesn't fall into place for them, and then they look like they're the bad guy, right? So at the end of the day, they have a tough job to do, and Danny, keep up the great work, man.
And I think that we definitely appreciate the work they do, because we know what's involved, and we see it on a daily basis. But it's nice when, and I've had it from the community, you know, they'll beat you up, but I've had a lot of people come and say what a great job our group's doing as well. So anyways, thank you, Chief. Go ahead, Councillor Sentence.
Same thing. It's great to hear a shout out to Bylaw. Good work. Have a great summer, everyone. We'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Okay. Am I pronouncing this right? DePaul?
Yes, that was perfect. Hello, everyone. For those who haven't met me, my name is Dipal Patel, and I'm the newly re-elected president for Niagara College Student Administrative Council. This is also my first Town and Gown committee. So I'm glad to meet everyone, and happy to connect with everyone throughout the year.
Thank you so much. And again, there's an open invitation if you want to get your group and have a meeting. You're more than welcome anytime to come to City Hall, and we'll sit down.
Thank you.
Up next, I got Kaylee from Busu.
Hi, everyone. I don't really have many updates. We're really winding down for the semester, and funny enough, already starting to plan for September, which seems like so far away, but
it'll be here soon.
That's what we do. Just a quick note that our new student leaders have started. They officially take the roles May 1st, but they're already in the office, and they're very eager to get started. So I apologize, I missed the name of the council member who just mentioned reaching out to Brock students, but we've got lots of eager students in the office already that would love to participate in any community events over the summer. So please feel free to reach out.
Yeah, we will. And Kaylee, again, for the new members, if they want to come and sit down, and we'll have a meeting at City Hall, my door's open anytime. So
that sounds great. Thank you.
Stephen is from Niagara College. He's been a long time contributor to this group. Welcome, Stephen.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Hope everything's going well. Nothing really from my side. I think Dipal, as everybody knows, Dipal's the voting member from us here at NCSAC, or Niagara College Student Administrative Council. So again, as Kaylee said, our new student leaders start May 1st. Dipal and I are heading out for 4 days, Tuesday to Friday, to go give them sort of our NCSAC boot camp. So we definitely talk to them about how to talk to students, about how to be good neighbors and be good citizens in the community. So we'll continue that work. And I think the other part that we're looking forward to, both in Niagara-on-the-Lake and in Welland, is sort of the welcome wagon piece that we typically did pre-COVID, that we've sort of gotten away from. And I know in the past, we worked with Kaylee at Busu and Brock Off-Campus Housing to formulate some of that, just to basically educate students outside of Thorold, St. Catharines, and other areas. Because as Dipal and I were talking about this morning, we have Brock students living in Welland as well, right? So the citizens of Welland, if you will, but also citizens of Thorold by virtue of going to Brock. So we'll continue to do that work. And I think that's it for me. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Stephen. Marcia.
Thank you. Is it possible that we could possibly put on our socials the contact to reach out? Because I know on our end we have students moving out currently, and that we can report the extra garbage. I just think if it's on our socials, a lot more people would know about it, and we can get it cleaned up quickly.
Yes, we'll get that contact. Natalie, Catherine, can you forward that to Natalie, and we'll put it on our social media.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you, Marcia. Go ahead, Catherine, you're up next.
Yeah, I don't have much more to add, but just to reemphasize, we're in the area proactively monitoring. But if someone sees a large amount of garbage at the curb, and that's the key, if it's at the curb, call the region. But if it's a property standards issue, to call the city. Sometimes we get people calling us and we have to pass it on, which is fine. We work very closely with the city, but that's it.
Thank you. And yeah, Danny, your group as well, to be aware of clean yards right now with the move out. And if you see anything, like Catherine said, if it's at the curb, they'll look after it. But if it's in the yard, obviously it's our concern. So thank you. Kristen, go ahead.
Yeah, just in relation to the end of year move out, we did share on our social media the accounts that people are to reach out to in terms of extra waste, and for students to be aware of best practices, encouraging students to recycle or donate items, usable items, those sorts of things. So just want to let you know that we did communicate with our students. With exams finishing last week, a number of students have left the region, but I know that will continue right up until May 1st. As we're heading into the summer months, we do events in Niagara, across Niagara, for our student population to be active in our local community. So we will be promoting the Wednesday evening farmers market taking place in Thorold.
Yeah.
So it'll be great to see some students out participating in some wonderful community events that are being facilitated. So thank you to the city for coordinating that. I also want to highlight, if anyone else, and I know that Mr. Mayor had mentioned the TGAO membership, so the Town and Gown Association of Ontario. Encourage folks on this call, if people are interested in being members of the TGAO, that we are looking for members to join. And it's relatively inexpensive to join for the year and to learn best practices and hear what's happening in other municipalities that house post-secondary institutions. So extending that to this larger group. Also looking forward to the fall, we will host our annual Welcome Wagon on Saturday, September the 7th. And so correspondents will go out inviting folks to join us door to door. A number of you on the call are involved with that. And so that will be happening on Saturday, September the 7th. This coincides with our Brock Cares Day of Service. So this is a day that we coordinate students going out in the broader community as volunteers. So also, if you're part of an organization that could benefit from Brock volunteers on that date, that's also happening on Saturday, September the 7th. So we start on campus with a kickoff and then send students out. And this is region-wide. So we provide transportation and projects for students to do across the Niagara region on that date, one of them being Welcome Wagon as well. And something that we're looking to do, we have a Brock SOCS group, which is the Society of Off-Campus Students. And we're looking to do some neighborhood programming for those students specifically. So these are students that are either renting in these communities or perhaps they're long-term residents and living with their parents, encouraging them to connect with other students off campus. So we're looking to maybe run some pickup sports in local parks, or those sorts of things happening over the month of September to connect students with not just their other student neighbors, but also community neighbors as well. So that's a project we're looking to take on and build this summer as part of our programming to roll out. So we'll be able to give an update at our August meeting about that.
Thank you so much, Kristen. And thank you for all the work you do in your group. I think that getting into the market, you said that the market's on Wednesday. Catherine, that might be something you may want to pick a Wednesday, or especially as we get closer to the end of August, and that where if you want to do a communications booth or something, it might be a good opportunity. So.
Yeah, we can add that to our outreach for sure.
Okay. Okay, as the round table's done, the next meeting we will hold is August 26th here at 10 a.m. It's a Monday. And as I always say, that's the big kickoff meeting for the fall semester. It's always a very important meeting. But I want everybody to know that behind the scenes, our community partners are always working together and working to keep things going, make improvements. So it doesn't end here today. I just want people to know that they're always working. And that partnership we have with all our community partners is really paying dividends. And we're seeing the results, and it's something we have to continue to make sure that we don't ease up, and we always make sure that it's sustainable, because the results are showing. So I want to thank everyone, and I want to wish everyone a good summer, even though I got to work all summer, and I'm sure most of us do, but to the students especially, I wish them a great summer, and I hope they all are able to find employment over the summer and come back and ready to immerse in the fall semester. So thank you, everyone. There being no further business, this meeting is hereby adjourned at 10:37 a.m.
Thank you.
Thank
Take
you.
care, everybody.
Thank you. Goodbye.